Karamoja. Issues to do with so many gunshot wounds being registered at Moroto Hospital, which is being overstretched. Now, let's veer into that very pertinent discussion that I mentioned in my preamble, understanding the origins of the Ham versus the Diamond Trust Bank case. Now, the court decision in Ham Enterprises Limited versus Diamond Trust Bank Uganda Limited has caused some consternation in the financial services industry, number one, and the legal profession in Uganda, number two, and possibly in the wider East African region, number three, because it's struck at the heart of the burgeoning trade in cross-border financial services. And to help us understand this case, we have Mr. Fred Muwema, a lawyer to Hamis Chigundu, and he joins me right now in studio. First of all, Mr. Muwema, what are the origins of this case?
The origins of the case are a normal banker-customer relationship that went bad. Ham Enterprises has been a customer for the bank for a long time, and business has been going as usual. So what brings the problem is that Ham realizes that some monies were being taken off his account without authorization.
Let's go to the start. Ham goes for a loan. Yes.
Okay.
How much was it?
Ham has been a customer for the bank, and he's been enjoying several facilities. The last facility in question now is a total of about $10 million, 4.5 from Diamond Trust Bank Kenya, and 6 here. So just park that there, because that is actually not the dispute which went to court. Because this is a court matter, I started with the dispute that went to court. The dispute that went to court was Ham suing his bankers and saying, you have taken money off my account.
Yet you have not given me the loan.
No, you have taken off money on my account. Can we reconcile?
Okay.
Because you say, I owe you money. Can we reconcile so that we come up with a set-off? And the bank refuses the reconciliation. And the bank instead insists on enforcing the mortgages, trying to sell his properties. So naturally, Ham goes to court. So Ham did not go to court because he wants to avoid paying a loan. No. Ham went to court because he wanted justice. He wanted to be paid.
They were wrongly debiting money from his account.
Yes. So that's the gist of the case. And when we are in court, you would have expected the bank to put its case up and say, look, Ham is telling a lie. We demand money from him. The bank did not counterclaim or countersue Ham for their money. All they did was just to defend and say, we don't owe you money, we didn't debit and so on. That was it. Now, how is the case determined the way it was determined? In law, a case does not have to go to trial. If trial means calling witnesses, the normal procedure taking years, and then a long judgment at the end of the year or 2 years, a case can be determined quickly if it is found that either party's documents, what we call pleadings, if you're sued and you put a fake defense or a weak defense, the court does not waste time to call witnesses. Okay? The court will just decide the case on the basis of what you have filed in court. That is what happened in this case. We raised an objection to the defense filed by the bank, saying that it had not answered the issues of illegality that had been raised to the standard required by the law. And secondly, we raised an objection on the ground that the defense had disclosed illegalities. What were those illegalities? The defense had admitted that one of the foreign banks was conducting financial institutions business, whereas it didn't have a license, which is an offense. The defense also disclosed that one of the licensed banks here, Diamond Trust Bank Uganda, was assisting a foreign bank to conduct business here as its agent, which also violates the law. So all the court did was to look at what the law says. Does the law say that to act as an agent, you need approval of the central bank? If the answer is yes, did you get the approval? Diamond Trust Bank Uganda did not avail in court, did not produce any evidence with its defense to show that it had the approval of the central bank to act as an agent. Diamond Trust Bank Kenya did not avail any approval or permission that it had to seek from the central bank before coming to lend here. On that basis alone, the court made a conclusion that this was an illegal transaction, and therefore, because it is illegal, it cannot stand in court. So it struck out the defense. So the moment it strikes out the defense, because it is Ham who had come to court seeking money, it entered judgment for Ham for the monies he was saying were unlawfully debited from his account. Now there's confusion there. Some people are saying that if the court found that the facility agreements were illegal, why did it give Ham money? Ham's claim for money taken off his account is not based on the facility agreements, because the position of the law is that if there is an illegal agreement, nobody benefits.
So Ham goes to court saying that some money was illegally debited from his account.
Yes.
And then as investigations follow suit, they find out that even the person that gave the borrower money doesn't have a license, and they didn't even get any issuance for clearance from the central bank. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, what I'm saying is that the transaction of up to $10 million involving the two banks did not have the required licensing.
I see.
Which the law states that it should have. Listen, we're dealing with an issue to do with the law.
Very complex.
If the law, it's not complex, it's quite clear. This law is passed by Parliament, and it has been there for 16 years now. The law makes it clear that the central bank is the regulator of all banking business, okay? And the law gives certain categories of licensing and approvals that are required. Now, one may say, I didn't need a license, or I needed a license. Again, the law has established the courts. It is the courts that you run to if you have a legal argument, and it's the courts who decide.
Fred Muema is the lawyer to Hamis Chigundu, who is at the center of this row. Let's get some facts about the Hamis Chigundu case and the Diamond Trust Bank. It has 6 connections to it. The lender was in Kenya, number 1. Number 2, the loan contract was also made in Kenya. 3, the location of the debt was also in Kenya. The mortgage property was in Uganda, Kiggs Uganda Limited and another company, and the registration of the securities happened also in Uganda. The collection agent was in Uganda. The borrower was also in Uganda. That is Hamis Chigundu.
I need to correct something.
So, Fred Muema, what makes the facts in this case different?
The loan contract was signed in Uganda. There is no loan contract that was signed in Kenya. The loan contract was drawn by Ugandan lawyers. It was witnessed by Ugandan lawyers. The mortgage was drawn in Uganda. The mortgage was registered in Uganda.
Yeah, that's true, yes.
Before the loan was given. That is what they call mortgage credit. Okay? And that is what is defined as financial
But was the lender in
business.
Kenya?
The lender was in Kenya. Okay? The money came from Kenya, and it came into Uganda through Diamond Trust Bank Uganda, and it was given to Ham, okay? But what is financial institutions business? When are you said to be doing financial institutions business, or in lay terms, banking business? You are said to be doing banking business, among others, if you take a mortgage and give money. That's one of the conditions. Now, there's something which is not scripted here, but you've seen this statement issued by the central bank. I saw it this morning, and I think you can see the kind of problem we have. The problem we've been having is that there has been a failure of regulation. It's not that we don't have the law. There has been a failure to enforce the regulation of the law. The governor has issued a statement here stating half-truths. And this is the governor of Bank of Uganda. According to the governor of Bank of Uganda, he defines financial institutions business to mean acceptance of deposits, okay? Issuance of deposit substitutes. Basically, he's saying lending based or lending from an institution that takes deposits from Ugandans is what financial institution business means. So according to him, since a foreign bank does not take deposits from you and me,
it's not,
it's not controlled. And this is laughable. This is the governor speaking. Financial institutions.
So he's saying they could not control DTB Kenya?
That's what he's claiming. Of course, he's free to have an argument, and I wish he comes to the appeal court and we have this argument. Everybody knows that financial institutions business is so wide. It is not just business, the lending based on deposits. There is also an aspect of financial institutions business which is called foreign exchange business. What is the definition of foreign exchange business? Foreign exchange business is any credit facility or lending done in foreign currency that is given from one person to another.
Yeah.
But Bank of Uganda chooses to only look at part of the law. And as a result, we have this kind of situation and confusion where banks are now up in arms. You should ask yourself, why all of a sudden, if we had a law for 16 years, why are they up in arms and saying this will frustrate investment and so on? This case is not about investment. This case is about regulation, okay? This case is about finding a particular transaction to be illegal. The case in court was not about syndication of loans, okay? The case in court does not stop anybody who complies with the law to come to Uganda and do business.
But wrongfully debiting money from Mr. Ham's
now,
account.
the issue of wrongfully debiting money from Mr. Ham's account is an issue which stands alone. Okay? Today or tomorrow, if a bank takes money off your account, that is a standalone. Now, the reason Ham got a judgment, I've heard some people saying, oh, this was a big amount of money, so the case should have gone to trial. The rules that the courts follow do not say that for a big case you use a different rule, for a small case you use a different rule. If your defense is weak, whether the case involves $1 trillion or 1 shilling, if you don't meet their standard, your defense will be struck out. And what does striking out a defense mean? It means that the party who has sued you remains in court alone with no opponent. It's like in boxing. If you are boxing and the opponent doesn't come up, are you required to box 12 rounds, shadow box when there's nobody? So Ham had nobody to box with, and that's why he was declared the winner. That's exactly how it operates. So we are in a situation as a country where we have a lot of weaknesses in legal regulation. This is one classic case where the regulator is failing to do its part. Why has the regulator kept quiet all along? This case has been in the courts for 1 year. Did you hear a statement from the regulator? They all kept quiet. Now, when the judgment comes up, they issue a statement and say, oh, you know, we can't regulate. Which country does not regulate financial inflows? Right now, on the global index, Uganda is marked near black. We are gray. I've just been attending a training on behalf of the Law Society for the Financial Intelligence Authority. And they were saying that Uganda is so low, we are in the gray mark. Gray meaning we have weak control and regulation of money inflows. In other words, we're on the blacklist of money laundering. What is money laundering? Illicit movement of monies. This is exactly what Ham's case is about. And what do we have? The regulator that is at the forefront of ensuring that they control money coming in and out are saying, I cannot touch it. You need to know. Check the Bank of Uganda Act. What is the function of the Central Bank of Uganda? The first function of the Central Bank of Uganda is to ensure monetary stability. Today, if you are saying that foreign banks are free to come and dump money here, you know what is going to happen? We shall collapse.
Indeed.
If a foreign bank, they have loads of money, if a foreign bank brought $100 billion here today and decides that we don't want Bukwana around, let's kill all these industries, we can collapse. So the central bank is supposed to be, this law was made to ensure that we have a gate to protect this small economy. You have a gate, regulate how much money comes in. For example, the exchange rate, basic economics. How is the exchange rate, the dollar to the shilling determined? It's determined by the amount of dollars vis-a-vis shillings. The central bank is saying, I don't care about the exchange rate. Let as many dollars come in. I will not touch those guys. So how are you going to control the exchange rate?
Indeed.
If the exchange rate goes up, what happens to the exports, the imports?
That's why we are having fluctuations.
Yes, the economy collapses. So I am thinking this statement, if it can be used in court, I would like the governor to take the witness stand and we cross-examine him. Did you sign this document as a governor For all these years, you have experience in monetary stability. How are you stabilizing the value of the shilling?
It seems like the governor was saying if that institution doesn't take any deposits, they cannot compel them.
But that's not true. And that's exactly what I'm saying. Because the law is that financial institution business includes lending upon deposits. That's one, just one aspect. The other aspect is conduct of foreign exchange business. The law is there. And what is foreign exchange business? It includes any credit facility, any credit extension, any lending in foreign exchange.
Mr. Fred Muema, this brings a realization when you say there are work tools. That means what is happening to Hamis Chigundu has been taking center stage and affecting more Ugandans, but silently. Could that be the case?
Have you seen the Uganda Bankers Association issue any statement
Not
when
yet.
customers' properties get sold to officials of the bank? When customers who have paid, somebody borrows $1 billion shillings, pays for 3 years, after 3 years,
They pay double.
he's been paying interest. You understand? Paying interest up to 600 million. After 3 years, they tell him the balance is 900. They play around with the interest rates because we have a lot of lack of awareness and ignorance. Let nobody tell you that the foreign lenders who come here want to give you free lunch. You've seen reports by the UN. They bring in $200 billion, they take out 600. The foreign lenders look at us as a piece of cake. They are doing brisk business here. They are benefiting. Let nobody come here and try to tell you how, they are doing us a favor. No, the money is made here. Why? We attract high interest rates. Not even Bill Gates can pay a loan at interest of 10%. They don't pay those rates. Their rates of interest 2%, 1.5%, So it is profitable for them to come here and lend for infrastructure projects and so on. And we are saying, you are welcome. You are welcome, but please do comply with the law here. You understand? There is no country. I want anybody to come here and tell me which country in the East African community allows free flow of money in their economy by a foreign bank. There is none. Which country in this region or anywhere in the world allows a foreign bank come lend $1 billion here, take out interest, income, and not pay tax? Ask the Uganda Bankers Association. They say they are holding foreign loans on their books of 5.7 trillion. Can they show you a tax return to show how much income tax was paid for those foreign loans? They are not paying. All they are doing is they are showing a small amount, saying this is our local loan book. The foreign loans are not part of their local loan book. Let them come. Please bring them next time here, and they should show us the figures. I'll read for them the law, the tax law of this country. I'll even show them. Let them show me a foreign lender, and I'll tell them the law of that country, and tell them that that country where the foreign lender comes from will never allow any foreign bank to lend money in that country without approval, without paying taxes. If this was not Uganda, if this was South Africa or any other country, DTB Kenya officials would be in jail. But what do we have? This is Uganda. You have the central bank coming out to defend DTB Kenya. That cannot happen anywhere. Can the governor tell me any governor of which country? He's a member of the Association of Bank Governors in the world. Let them name a single governor of any country, of any central bank of any country, who can issue such a statement, who can come and say, I will not do my work. I cannot regulate a foreign bank.
So we need a change in the law.
Yet, you need to understand, it's an offense under this law, which the central bank regulates, for any person to conduct financial institution business, which includes deposit taking or other aspects of financial institution business, foreign exchange business, without a valid license. It's an offense. Any person under the law is defined as a local company or foreign company, among others. Meaning that the offense committed here of doing business here without a license includes also a foreign bank. Now the governor is saying that that offense, in Uganda we don't have offenses which only apply to locals, by the way. Once you are here, whether you are a Chinese, whether you are an American, if the law is that you drive on the right or you keep left, that's the law. The governor is saying that we now have a law where we are going to selectively apply and say, if the law says any person includes a foreign, but for banks, foreign banks, you will not touch them. Oh my God, unbelievable. I really wish the Bank of Uganda legal team can come to court with this statement. I hope they don't withdraw it. I want them on the witness stand. I really want to ask them, was this law made to only apply selectively to local banks? And lastly, if foreign banks are free to come and lend without any hassle, without any license, can you ask the Bank of Uganda, why do the many foreign banks we have here bother to register local banks and get a license? If they can come and lend for free, why go through the hassle? A license takes 6 months to a year. They pay a lot of fees, depositing a lot of money, checks, penalties. Why, if you are free to go and do business without setting up on the ground, without having to employ people, without having to pay taxes, why then, the governor should explain, why do foreign banks here, 95% of the banks we have here are foreign. Why did they stay here to be localized, if they can just bring money without registration?
That's a loophole. Now, let's interrogate the $64,000 question, Mr. Muwema. Did Ham pay back the money or not?
Based on the facts in this case, where there is a judgment of the court saying the bank took Ham's $23 million and 34 billion shillings, Ham...
$23 million?
Yes, because the judgment says the amounts that the bank would have claimed under the facilities are settled at law. What that means is that based on the facts as they are, Ham is demanding a bigger amount than the bank would be demanding. The court ruled, we have a judgment, the court ruled that the debt, if any, that was owed by Ham to the bank is settled. So what you need to, the position now, until that judgment is appealed and overturned, the position now is that any amount that was owed by Ham to the banks was paid. As we speak now, the debtor is the bank. Ham is the creditor. Diamond Trust Bank Uganda is the debtor.
So Ham paid all the money. Now he just needs to get that money that was wrongfully debited in excess.
The money that was stolen from him needs to come back. That's the official position. So if anybody is going out there saying Ham has to pay the bank, it means they have not read the judgment and they are going against the judgment. And what's the position of the law? Once there's a judgment, it's a judgment. Everybody has to respect it until it's appealed and overturned. So please go out, tell everybody that right now Diamond Trust Bank is the debtor.
Yes.
It's failing to pay its debt to Ham. Ham is the creditor. He needs to be paid.
Fred Muwema is the lawyer to Mr. Hamis Chigundu, and many thanks for having helped us put light to this issue. It's been in the dark, and so many people are wondering, what is this case all about? DTB
Please,
and Ham.
It is not about banning syndicated loans.
Just
I
some
see
money
a lot
that was
of
wrongfully
land people
credited. Yes.
going, sitting around, issuing statements, oh, it has banned syndicated loans. They are telling lies, and I wish they put it on oath. Telling lies on oath is a crime. They should not just go around misleading you. We understand this subject, and we are saying this judgment is a victory for all of us, because we need to be raising enough revenue from business activities in our country to be able to develop it.
All right, Fred Muwema, thank you very much for having made the time to speak to us and helping us put to light some of these issues. Thank you for coming. And of course, you're still watching Morning at NTV. At this opportune moment, we are going